Imagine you're walking through a peaceful Tokyo park on a spring morning. Cherry blossoms sway in the breeze, children laugh in the distance, and the sound of rustling leaves fills the air. But then, you notice something unusual. A plastic bag stuffed into a trash can. You open it, and inside are human body parts. This isn't a horror movie. This is real in what would become known as the Inokashira Park Dismemberment case. Remains one of Japan's most chilling and baffling unsolved crimes. It was April 23rd, 1994. Park staff went about their usual morning routine, clearing bins and tidying up before visitors arrived. But in one bin, they found a bag, then another, and another. When the bags were opened, workers recoiled in shock. Inside were 27 carefully severed human body parts, arms, legs, and torso fragments, each cut into pieces about 20 centimeters long. The remains had been washed clean, drained of blood, and wrapped tightly in plastic. This wasn't a careless killing. Whoever did this had taken extraordinary care. But the question was, why? Police arrived quickly and made a chilling observation. The cuts were too precise. Each body part was dissected with near surgical skill. No ragged edges, no hesitation marks. Every cut was exact. This immediately raised suspicions. Could the killer have been a surgeon, a butcher, or someone with a background in anatomy? And here's where it gets even stranger. Days later, investigators identified the victim. His name was Shuji Sato, a 35-year-old architect. He wasn't a criminal. He wasn't in debt. He wasn't known to have enemies. But there was something unusual about him. Shuji had been a member of a religious organization. Some believed this group had a darker side. Could his murder have been connected to that? The last time Shuji was seen alive was the night before the discovery. Witnesses claimed he had left with an acquaintance. But who this person was remains a mystery. Despite the meticulous investigation, the trail grew cold. No fingerprints, no DNA, no murder weapon, nothing to indicate where the crime had been committed. The only thing investigators had were the body parts themselves. Clean, clinical, and completely devoid of the usual forensic evidence. Think about that. Someone not only killed Shuji, but erased every possible clue. Who has the knowledge, the patience, and the confidence to do that? As news spread, Tokyo was gripped by fear. People avoided the park. Parents kept children at home. The idea that someone could so precisely cut a body into pieces and scatter them in public bins without being seen was horrifying. The press sensationalized it, dubbing it one of the most grotesque crimes in modern Japanese history. Yet despite the frenzy, the killer remained invisible. Some speculated it was the work of the Yakuza, Japan's organized crime syndicate. But the Yakuza rarely disposed of bodies in such a public, theatrical way. Others suggested it was the act of a serial killer. But no similar murders followed. So who was behind it? Let's pause for a moment. If you were the investigator, what would you think? Was Shuji murdered by someone inside his religious group, silenced for reasons we may never know? Was it a professional hit, someone showing off their surgical skill? Or could it have been a chilling case of mistaken identity? Keep that thought in mind, because the story doesn't end here. For years, Police pursued every possible lead. They interrogated associates, tracked Shuji's last steps, and searched for anyone capable of such precise dismemberment. But nothing fit. And in Japan, the law at the time had a 15-year statute of limitations on murder. That meant if a killer wasn't caught within 15 years, they could never be prosecuted. So, in 2009, the Inokashira Park case officially expired. The killer, whoever they were, had won. Or had they? In 2015, more than 20 years after the crime, a man came forward. He identified himself only as K. K claimed something shocking, that he may have been the intended target. According to his story, Shuji Sato, the victim, looked very similar to him, and both men had been involved, in some way, with the same religious group. K believed that whoever killed Shuji had actually meant to kill him. But here's the twist. If that's true, it means Shuji was murdered in a case of mistaken identity. But why stay silent for so long? K admitted he feared for his life. He thought the group, or whoever was behind the killing, would come after him next if he spoke up. Now, think about that. If this was true, then the murder wasn't random. It was a calculated execution. And the dismemberment wasn't about hiding the body. It was about sending a message. And yet, despite the confession, no arrests were made. K's story added a chilling possibility. But without hard evidence, it was just another theory in an already tangled case. So here we are, decades later, with more questions than answers. Why was Shuji targeted? Who had the skill to dismember a body with surgical precision? And why leave the remains in such a public place, almost daring the world to discover them? The Inokashira Park dismemberment remains one of Japan's most unsettling mysteries. A case where the killer was careful, methodical, and, most terrifying of all, never caught. When you walk through a quiet park, surrounded by nature, do you ever wonder what secrets might be hidden beneath its calm surface? And tell me, what do you think happened that night in 1994? Was it a religious vendetta? A case of mistaken identity? Or something even darker? Let me know your theory in the comments. Because sometimes the scariest crimes aren't the ones solved. They're the ones that never end.